Welcome to another special EP episode of Me and Virgil, a Genesis Brothers podcast.
Well, me and Virgil, we beat the desert, riding fast and riding hard. We hit the city, the past behind us, so we raced some hell. We had some fun, washing dishes and making coffee.
Oh, I don't know if I can go that low, but it is beautiful.
Well, because what I seem to be doing for this tradition, this EP tradition that we're doing this year, I'm just playing a little snippet of the beginning of the song to be.
Right, okay, yes.
And of course,
Well,
this
in
month,
case you're wondering what he's doing, that odd fellow over there.
not having a breakdown.
We're back again because Peter Gabriel has another new song out because it's a new full moon, it's March, and he's like, here's new music for you, sort of. So today we're going to be talking about what lies ahead. I'm Virgil, and with me, as always, is my lovely brother, me.
Me, that's right. Hello, welcome
Back
back.
again for another recording session.
Back again. Good to have Peter back. Yes.
So first, because we're changing things up here, we're weird. First, we're going to talk about not what lies ahead, but Put the Bucket Down, the last song that came out, because we want to talk about the dark side version a bit that came out. So, me, what you think?
So I've been listening to this a bit more recently. I should have listened to this today. Didn't do my homework on that, but I have been listening to this recently. In some strange way, I think I've grown to prefer that version of the dark side. There are a couple of things I would have liked to have changed. So we'll try not to talk about this too long, because I remember going over the last episode, I think half of the last episode was about the bright side version of Been Undone.
Let's just try not to talk about this more than we talk about what lies ahead, because it's a short song.
Exactly.
That's the goal.
Because what could potentially lie ahead is a 2.5-hour episode. So So with when I first heard the dark side version of Put the Bucket Down, which we were very eagerly anticipating, because the bright side alone felt quite dark in a way because of its production and the vibe and everything about it. So we were very, very excited about it, probably even more so than the other version of Been Undone. Yeah. And instantly when it started, I just thought, oh yeah, the instant vibe I got, the mix of Peter's voice was just more inlaid there with the music. I just felt instantly this feels more Peter. This felt really more Peter, and even
That's right. My notes is there's a lot more going on.
There is,
side,
and even
which feels very Peter.
Yeah, just and even the section where after the little "we'll put the bucket down," I had the dome, and that piano kicks in. The mix of that piano coming in even more, it feels more impactful. Oh. I was kind of intrigued if we were going to hear a bit more of absolute defining drums in that. We don't really, so still can't to this day tell what Mano Katch is actually doing on the track, if he's doing anything. So
he's air drumming, maybe. You'll see that
maybe
in the
that's
video.
it. And Peter's just looking and being like, okay, so a bit like that, all that. But we do know that Peter himself, he just found the loop somewhere and he just went along with that. So yeah, I really dig it. Now, with the bridge part, with the waves, I am missing the bright side version of the waves, because I feel like they come through a lot more with the bright side version. Now, he did explain in his
Maybe he didn't use his ear mics
maybe
or something.
He just used one mic.
I doubt that. They probably kept the same thing, but the whoever was producing it just decided to tone it down a bit.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I think that's because we obviously always associate with being at the ocean, the seaside, as something nice and positive and happy and bright. Maybe they just said, "Oh, this is dark. We gotta not speak. We have to bear that in mind." I don't know. But anyway, so as soon as that kicked in, I was like, "Oh, I do miss that a little bit." The sound effects, because of course, you know, we immediately associate Peter and that sort of music with sound effects on top. And I know that he talked about in his full moon video that you've got the names, unfortunately, I don't have on hand right now, but you've got one trumpet player who's going to play on the bright side and another trumpeter who's going to play on the dark side.
Give me a sec. So the first one, the bright side, is Paolo Fresu, and then this one is Josh Spack.
Oh, so Josh is on the dark side. I thought it was.
He actually hasn't said that, but that's the order he set their names in. So that was my guess.
Okay, all right. So I immediately noticed that the bridge part actually is longer. The bridge part section.
This one,
This
the dark
is
side.
the dark side.
Yeah, it
is
is
longer.
It's almost
yeah.
a little more improvisational with playing and
Yes,
stuff too.
I think Peter did mention that going back with the video. He says a bit more improv with this. To a certain degree, I almost question saying, is this going on a bit too long? Now, that's quite surprising coming from me.
Tootling along. Where's it going?
I found that quite surprising to think that, thinking, come on, this is Peter. You can never get enough of Peter. But I kind of felt that because I kind of was waiting for the next section as I'm so familiar with the bright side.
Because you know it's coming.
Yeah.
Because now you know how it's coming back in. Yeah.
So that was that section. So that was my only little critique about it. The kind of cool thing about it, which I thought made it feel a little bit less cheesy as compared to the bright side, where he talks about the train coming around the bend and then just suddenly just stops. This one has a fade out. A fade out. Goodness me.
Yeah, I like the ending a lot more with this one. It did
because
more stuff.
it
was
kind of makes
interesting.
more
Instead,
sense.
The other one just kept repeating and
Because it's almost
going
like the train is coming around the bend, but actually it's going off somewhere else now, and you can't really see the train, can't hear the train anymore. So overall, I do, and I think we both talked about this in a little chat about it, brief chat, like WhatsApp chats, saying that if the overall track feels more Peter, it has more of that.
Well, no, we
Peter
did that for
vibe.
the last track, but we did for this one too, I think.
Yeah, we talked about So overall, I think I do prefer it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I agree too. That I think I'd like the bridge in the bright side more actually, just because it's full of sound
Same
and
here.
the way it feels. But overall, the song, it's got more stuff going on it, which just feels more classic Peter Gabriel, more enjoyable. I think. Yeah, busier, more
Exactly.
fun. I said, yeah, and I really like the ending more now because it does something instead of
instead of just
swirling down the
Well,
drain.
plus with the bright side, you're kind of thinking like, okay, it does also tend to go on a little bit as well, and you're thinking like, when's this gonna stop as well?
And I will say, because I know we talked about how much we were excited about the Dark Side mix, and at first I was like, and again, the first time I listened to it, I didn't listen. I just listened through a speaker, which wasn't as good either. But I was like, oh, is that it? There's not much going on. I can't really hear much difference here. But again, we've got to remember too, Peter's saying you can't change the song, so there's only so much they can do with messing around with this stuff,
No.
So I should keep my expectations not too ridiculously high, sort of thing,
So that means so far then we are both we're both dark side
Dark
bros
sides.
of the tunes. Yeah.
We're red lightsabers, yeah.
Yes.
We're not rebels. We're part of the
No.
Empire.
No, yeah, exactly. Okay, there we go. There we have it. Yeah.
just checking. Did it work? No, didn't feel anything.
For those of you, for those listeners out there, Virgil was just doing a bit of a Vader
Force choke. Force choke there.
force choke there. Yes, with a Vader gesture.
Don't
there.
think it worked.
Yeah.
All right, so let's move on to what lies ahead.
Right, and before we kick into it, so at the end of the last episode,
Well, that was my cue for you to just play the song, a bit of the song like you usually do.
okay, we could do that. Yeah.
On the hilltop, high above us, stood his place of work. From its rooftop grew the tall mast, reaching up to the sky. All around the blue corona, lightning licks the ground, charging through the coils of copper, while hums and crackles sound.
you've probably been hearing it playing already. So, but
Sure.
the last thing we talked about this when we were kind of intrigued with what lied
Oh,
ahead
yeah.
with
Our
the track,
predictions?
our predictions.
That's first on the list. That's first on my notes here. Yeah.
Yes. So first off, when it came out, which by the way, because we you saw with as well with the full moon schedule that the 3rd of March was gonna come out.
Yeah.
So so a couple of cool things happened between us two yesterday. One was your book came out. I hope it still did come out. Yes, yesterday. So you had a new book come out.
I actually haven't checked, but I think so. Yeah.
Okay, good. And secondly,
I think now it's just you can order it instead of pre-ordering it.
yes.
Yeah.
Secondly, it was my birthday yesterday. So when I was going to bed that night, I went to bed before midnight, and I actually checked on my phone. I was just scrolling through YouTube, kind of curious if I was going to see it there, and suddenly it said, "There's Peter's new single, which has already been out for 13 hours." So, yeah, which means technically it came out on the 2nd.
Because for me, because you sent me the link, and then I said I can't watch it yet because it's blocked because of where the region I'm in. But I usually get access to it at 9 o'clock, I think, which is probably because it's midnight Eastern time. So that's probably when he decides to make it available over here. The annoying thing he does is he releases the video of him talking about it like the beginning of that day, like the day before.
Oh, really? Okay.
And so you could watch that and be tempted to watch it, but it's like, no, I want to hear the song first. I don't want you to tell me about it, you know?
Yeah.
So it's sitting there waiting for me to watch it, and I have to be patient.
Yeah, because I listened to the song first. It was a couple of hours into my birthday, and everyone was kind of getting ready to go out. We were going to go out for some breakfast. So whilst they were all ready, because I was already ready, I was like, right, well, I'm just going to sit down with the speaker. And I should have done it with my headphones. I've actually not listened to it yet with my headphones. Shocker.
Oh.
So I've only listened to it with a speaker. I listened to it once, and I was like, whoa. And of course, the very next thing that showed up on YouTube as the automatic play was the video, the full moon video. And I was like, no, I gotta hear this song again. And let's hear the song again. Because instantly, I listened to it, and I was like, this is stunning. This is absolutely beautiful. And maybe it was also a bit of, what's it called? Sleep. Being sleep deprived, lethargicness, that I got quite emotional listening to it, and I was getting a bit teary.
It's a beautiful emotional song, so
well,
I don't blame you.
and so our prediction. Oh yeah, so going back to quickly to our predictions list. So the first thing I saw was like, what lies ahead? And I was like, well, what did we call it? And I instantly was like, well, we said, what was it? Keep on going. I believe your quote. Keep on going.
Don't give up, part 2. So I think that's like a good halfway there.
I remember saying to my wife as well next to me, it's just like, well, he predicted it being Virgil predicted being like, oh, it's keep on going. What lies ahead? Not bad. 3 words still.
And you said it was going to be a bit like Playing for Time, which I
it
totally agree
is.
with too.
Now, I did feel it was going to be a piano piece next. There was no piano.
Okay, we'll talk about it later.
Right.
But you're not totally wrong. That's what I'm gonna say.
Okay. I mean, but we did predict, which kind of made sense. That is a slower piece.
Definitely. Yeah.
But what really was nice about it was, unlike Playing for Time, where you felt like it was just going to be kind of pretty much voice and piano and strings, then suddenly drums and band kicks in.
Yeah.
This one doesn't do that, and so the only critique I had about the song is that it's like it was done in less than 3 minutes, and I'm like, oh no!
It's like 2:52, I think.
2:52, 57. Plus, he actually says the title of the song when the song's about to finish as well, and I felt like I want to hear more. So hence why I just went right back to the beginning and listened to it again. Yeah.
But you still haven't listened with headphones, you said, or you have?
Oh, actually, I did, but unfortunately, whilst I was kind of getting ready for this, so I didn't consciously, unfortunately, listen to it.
I recommend getting really good headphones and just listen to it. It's just really a good, awesome sound. I mean, it's just, I don't say, really beautiful song all around. Like the singing, just everything. He's doing a little bit of his, the song he did for the Toy Story soundtrack. I can't remember which one it was.
Toy Story?
He did a song for one of the Toy Story soundtracks.
Oh, okay.
And it's that sort of soft singing he does, which is just, it's almost not really whispering, but he's almost like he's got a little bit of a whisper in how he's singing and stuff. and it's just really moving.
There is a song he also did for what was the pig movie Babe, I think, as well.
Unless I'm thinking of that one. Maybe I'm thinking of that one.
That'll do. That'll do. He has that song too, which is quite soft and piano. Yeah.
I really love just all the orchestra stuff in here, the way the strings are used and everything going. Like you could easily, I think, because there's a lot of different styles of music, like styles of how the strings are being used. There's what they call pizzicato when they're plucking the strings, and then just different bits and things. And that could easily get, I think, messy or too complicated. Right. And here it just flows, yeah. And
this is 2 tracks back to back now, which, I mean, fair enough, it's not as heavy on Bucket, Put the Bucket Down, but it is there. The same conductor, arranger with the orchestra.
Yes, well, it's John Metcalf.
John Metcalf, that's correct, yeah. And you saw like practically the same camera angle showing in the video of when they're doing Put the Bucket Down. With
it was the same session, probably.
It most likely is, yeah. So I really like it. It's quite heavy with the orchestra in terms of the instrumentation, because there's a very heavy cello work underneath there, and almost to a point I was almost...
But I feel again that's just Peter Gabriel's made his mark with that. I feel like you just that's what it is.
What was really special about it was because he talked about saying when he's really in the rhythm, when he feels like he really sits in the pocket there, and it was really nice for him to mention saying it feels like my primary instrument, the drums, is coming out again, that when I really sit there in the pocket.
Was cool. Yeah.
Sometimes when I'm in the pocket in a groove, as an old drummer, I just want to carry on because it makes me feel good if I get the groove right, and then there'll be up and down parts of that story or journey that I want to explore.
I wonder how many people are listening, how many folks listen to that who are going like, what does he mean? What does he mean with drums? Is Peter Gabriel a drummer? What?
My drums were my pride and joy, when I was a teenager.
You could see how his face lit up as soon as he mentioned the D word. And you really just feel like, oh, it's just so nice. He's still so passionate about that, and
that was his first instrument.
Yeah, and then very appropriately, they show a footage of him playing piano. He's just got one-handed piano, but you see him, his shoulders are kind of like bopping along,
around,
and he's got the biggest grin on his face, being like, "I'm in the pocket. I'm in the pocket." Yeah.
But obviously, with Genesis, he did the kick drum a lot too, which is another thing.
Yeah.
Watcher of the skies patrol. Your fate alone, this fits your own.
Did he ever do drums on any of his earlier solo albums?
As far as I know, no. It's not credited at all. However, when in the very early days, when he would be performing songs live, he did do a song called, there is footage of it, "Waiting for the Big One." So that big, long bluesy track. And then the wonderful Richard McPhail in this book explains how once the little short story, just going off here slightly, where he would use that song to disappear from the stage and then make his way out the back and then into the theater again. Horror story about him getting stuck in between the revolving doors. But anyway, they would make it back in, and then he would appear in the upper tier of that song. And sing the rest of the song, because even on record the song goes on for quite a while. A lot of these fake, a lot of these fake endings, and he would do that live. Anyway, but sometimes in that song as well, they would be jamming along, and you don't realize this, but then the camera just pans to someone else. So Jerry Marotta was Peter Gabriel's drummer back in the day, not on the first album. The name unfortunately escapes me, but during that touring anyway, you hear the drums playing. And then suddenly you go back to the drums. Suddenly it's Peter's playing the drums, and you're like, "Oh, how did they swap that over? When did the beat never stopped? The playing never stopped. It just carried on." And then suddenly it carries on again. And then suddenly Tony Levin jumps on the drums and starts playing as well. But yeah, you do see Peter playing that same
Obviously, it's probably something they rehearsed to switch around somehow.
I'm sure. And yes, we will definitely leave a link to get that. And hopefully, it's still online. Hopefully, it's still online. Yes, because I will reveal, unfortunately, something I had to cut out from the previous episode where we talked about Phil not making the drums for "In the Air" because the drums never came up. I wanted to say we'll leave the link for that. I tried finding it. It's been removed from YouTube. Sadly, it's gone. tragic.
Phil said, "I don't want that out there anymore,"
Most likely. Anyway,
which I can understand.
yeah. So anyway, so there is
As he
footage of
continues to get new fans.
yeah. So there is footage of that. There is audio of Peter playing drums on the Genesis like first demos, like Patricia, the demo version for Patricia. The drums on that is Peter. And yeah, as we talked about it in previous episodes, that he was showing between him and Tony, showing John Mayhew how the drum parts go and that sort of stuff. So yeah, he was still up until Phil really joined him to part.
Then there's also the
Peter
song that Phil did drums on for Peter on. It was the album before Face Value.
Yeah. The third album,
whatever song that
yeah.
was.
He did drums on
Yeah. I can't
Intruder,
remember
No
which-
Self Control.
I think it's Intruder is the one, because there I know Peter worked with Phil to develop that special echoey sound.
Oh, yeah,
which completely influenced In the Air Tonight.
the gated reverb sound, correct? Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
mhm,
Yep,
yeah.
yep, yep,
So
yep, yep.
he's always played a part in drumming sound.
Oh,
even if he hasn't actually
he
played the
directly
drums.
played a part in that gated reverb sound completely, yeah. And where Phil Phil's just testing the sound on the drums with that Intruder groove, and Peter just said like, "What's that? Just keep playing that for 10 minutes, just that." Intruder. So yeah. So anyway, so it's really nice to see Peter mention that in this video and how he just smiles and goes over. Ironically, even though there's not a single piece of percussion on the track at all.
Yes. Yeah. But it's a different kind of.
It's
beat,
a rhythm. It's a rhythm. You're still sitting with the
Yeah.
rhythm, complete with the song. So I just wanted to quickly say, as soon as the because no doubt we'll come to them as well. If unless you got some more things to say about, because now I'm going to talk about the choir on the song.
Well, I was just going to kind of lead into the video
Okay.
which you talked about. So this is the blood/worm moon, basically.
Hi there, lunatics. Welcome to the blood moon or the worm moon.
So the melody he said he first got from his son Isaac.
Yes.
I don't know. He doesn't say how old Isaac was. I have no idea how old Isaac is now. I'm not sure if it means a little kid playing on a kid piano or what he means, or an older kid playing on a guitar or something. I'm not sure
Yeah.
what it was, but he kind of used that, played around with it, and then he talks about building on it from that, much like he says he did with Playing for Time. So some sort of origin story
Yeah,
for
which
those
I
two
didn't know
songs.
that. Yeah. And also, I didn't know this either, but he sort of demoed this song also on the Back to Front tour, as well as Playing
Well, that's what I was
for
about to
Time.
say. So this is where you were saying they were predicting for a piano, but it wasn't on piano. So the song came live on the Back to Front tour, and at that point he did just play it on the piano with no singing, really. But then which he didn't talk about, he also played it on the last tour, on the IO tour. I found footage of two places, one in Denver, Colorado,
Okay.
and there's footage on YouTube, and another one in Poland it was, and he's playing it. And because they have a cellist and the violinist and everything on stage, they're doing it all.
Wow.
And I think I don't know how far on the song was, but when you hear the thing and you hear the whole beginning and the and all that, I don't know if it's like a
Wow.
backing track thing or what, but he did it a few times on that last tour. So that was a little surprising, yeah.
SOB.
So he talks about also how it came from, because during the Back to Front tour, he had a cellist named Linnea Olsen. I don't know if she's Swedish or Norwegian, possibly Norwegian, Scandinavian at least.
Yes.
So he used her cello piece for that, and then from that, and then John Metcalf doing all his string section and stuff like that. And then you wanted to talk about the choir. It's the Orfe Dränger choir, who are a Swedish male voice choir.
That's right. Yes. And was it John Metcalf who recommended them?
I don't know.
Someone. He said
John.
someone
Yeah,
recommended
maybe.
them. He said
Yeah.
someone recommended them.
But I mean, they sound great. And then I think he did say too that they were used on. He said they were used on Home, which I think meant This Is Home from IO. He's mentioned. So it's the same choir again that gives this nice full building sound.
Oh yeah. I mean, this is probably the most. The fullest sounding choir so far on all of his tracks, I find. I mean, you got them. He says like with IO and even Live and Let Live, they are there. But obviously,
But here they're more background, whereas
they're more
here
background
they're
and
up front with him.
they're very up
almost to
front.
the point where he sings a bit, steps back, and then they come forward.
Well,
and they're the
because
main
they are
part. Yeah.
singing solely themselves. Yeah, I mean, it's what starts the entire song. So, a piece of music I'm going to reference here, which has got absolutely nothing to do with Genesis, I suppose, until now. That as soon as that choir kicked in, I was immediately transported to Disney's Moana. And there's a couple of songs which, obviously are all about this Polynesian background and
culture,
music.
yeah.
And there's a particular piece in that where you just hear these hum. It
Which
just
song, is
starts.
it a particular song or?
Well, actually,
Or is it just some of the
it's
instrumental
actually the start of the soundtrack. But I mean, it kind of scatters throughout. But particularly if anyone who is familiar with the movie Moana, little Moana herself, she
Oh, it's by the water, right?
she is
Is it when
summoned.
the water's
She is summoned by
moving
the
and-
ocean. It's when the ocean
Yeah,
has
yeah.
chosen her, and you suddenly hear this hum. That was exactly the same kind of arrangement that started the song with this, and I was immediately. And of course, ironically enough as well, he then mentions the word in the lyrics "mast" as well.
Yes, that's right.
I thought even more. It was like
This
this
is
is
about
Moana
boats,
related.
in Moana.
Yeah,
Yep.
exactly. And he does talk about boats as well. So, yeah, that's what
I'm
really
gonna
moved
say,
me more about
did you
it.
look up what that choir was? I mean, I'm 99% sure it wasn't them because the person who worked on the soundtrack for Moana was Lin-Manuel Miranda,
Oh, Lin-Manuel
who
Miranda
did
plus
Hamilton.
yes, and
But there was other
also
people too.
there's
But it
other
was
people as
very
well, particularly
Polynesian culture people and musicians and stuff that
well,
they did
and
a lot of
also
with. Yeah.
Mark Mancina, who's a conductor who did also the soundtrack for Tarzan and for Brother Bear by Phil. Yes, so there is a little reference there too. Yeah.
Connection.
Connection.
There's your connection. There's your through line.
Yeah.
From Peter to Moana, back to Phil.
Yeah. Oh, and also, I know we've mentioned her quite a while, a few episodes back, probably one of our first couple of episodes. We talked about getting our mum on here to maybe confirm some details back in the day of when we first heard this album, when we got this album. But because my mum came to visit for my birthday as well, she was there when I was listening to the song for the first time. And so she got to hear it too. And she said, this is beautiful. And the cool thing she said, which is absolutely true, she said he still, after all these years, still has an amazing voice. So beautiful, so
that's
soft.
I think that's half the reason he keeps going. Yeah, the other half is he loves to do it.
Yep.
But I think when you still sound great, you're like, well, I'm going to keep doing this because
Yeah.
I love it and people enjoy it because I can still sound good.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then relating to our mum then there because she's a Catholic religious person, and this is specifically, he said, a spiritual, inspirational song.
Yep.
And even though he said he's not religious at all, he found it a very spiritual, moving
Right.
song, and that was his intention with it. And then, the big surprising thing about it is how short it is.
Yes.
And he says sometimes he likes to groove around when he finds a groove and just keep on going with the band and doing things and spreading out. But he said this one, it just felt like it was done when it was done in that shorter time, and that was it. Yep.
Funny that, considering how long you take with some things to either get going or talk about it or get to the point about it too.
So did you I don't know if you've heard see the bit in the video where he talks about what the song is about. Did you have any ideas about the song before that? Before you heard him talk about it?
Well, the imagery certainly helped. So that was two things that I was like looked at. First, I thought I was like, oh, what lies ahead? Okay, but then I saw the imagery and it's just like, wow.
You mean the artwork?
The artwork, yes, the artwork. I was like, this is graphic. This is very graphic. However,
I did say, is that what I think it is? Okay, it is. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I showed it around to my family as well. I was like, look at this, and my wife said, like, is that a guy doing that or something? But it's exactly what Peter talks about it as well. Which again, he does like to sort of like connect and what we think, and my wife appreciated the fact that Peter said, obviously men can never at all come to even close to going through what women have to go through when they're giving birth. However, and this is very fascinating, I found that I never knew this about his father, that he was a mechanical engineer. Yes, and he could see the frustrations that his father was going to try and create this to show the world. To give, as he said, on some what's it called, level, to give birth to it. You see, and so it's like people.
That's how creativity works. I mean, you know
Yes.
it yourself, I'm sure too, when you have an idea for a song or something like that, and you want to try and make it and getting it out the way you want it.
Right, and
There's often a meme for writers they show a lot, which is the here's the story and idea in my head, and it's this beautiful picture or whatever. And then it's like, and here's the one I wrote on the page, and there's this like jumbled up mess because you can never quite get it out of your mind to be, transposed perfectly into reality.
True, but I was really fascinated with it, where he talked about how he can see how his dad had to really think about how to get this idea across, and then that got Peter Gabriel thinking too. And I just thought, could this be where, because this is a person who loves to just I can't find the words for it, but just to really think outside the box and to really take his time to look about something and try and give mental birth towards it, and how it's created, how it's done. Hence why it could take someone like him 20 years to come up with something. And I just thought, could this be where all this thought process came from his dad? By watching his dad, how his dad was like, this didn't work, so how can I change it to make this happen?
Well, it's the creative process, whatever it is, whether you're making things out of metal and sculpting stuff or making music, it's all the same kind of process.
Correct.
And it requires the same amount of work and hard labor to actually make it happen. It makes me think of we recently subscribed to his Peter Gabriel's Bandcamp, and he has a number of demos on there which I never really heard before of early songs. And just hearing how I'm compare it to Phil, when you hear Phil's demos, and you're like, this is pretty much the song, and that's literally what Phil is like. That's what both sides is.
Yeah.
It's pretty much all his demos
Face
there are the
value
song.
and all that stuff.
With
yeah.
Peter, it's very different.
Yes.
And that's why you can see it takes years of time for him to let them change and do different things with them and stuff. And it's obviously influenced by his father and just the whole creative process of how he works,
Completely.
So yeah, before I'd watched the video, I think I was kind of listening to the lyrics and trying to put them together, and I hadn't seen the picture actually, although I hadn't looked close at the picture to understand it, the artwork. But I was thinking with the lyrics of the second half of the song, it did make me think of birth a lot, and once you're out in the world, here's what lies ahead, here's the things you've got to look forward to and prepare yourself for, and imagine what's going to happen next, sort of thing. And then I had another weird thing because of the mechanical stuff at the beginning threw me off with the masters and stuff like that and building, and I was like, is this Frankenstein? But again, that's another birth of a creature, and having to live in life.
Just quickly going back,
quickly
going back, how you can to help with the creative process too. That perhaps at the same time, which again is very Genesis relatable. That sometimes you have to also to go back a few steps as well to rethink about, well, maybe this part that I did here, maybe I can try and bring that out again and reuse that again, such as a piece of music that could maybe you think like, I'm not going to use that, and then suddenly 5 years later, like, I'm going to use that again. Which actually, because thanks to this beautiful piece of music, I then started to sort of like compare it to other songs that Peter's come up with as well. And I've, by the way, just to quickly say, I've concluded that over the last couple of weeks, to me, my absolute favorite song by Peter Gabriel is "So Much." I've concluded it's my favorite song of his of all time.
Okay. And
then I started to, and then for some reason it popped up on my YouTube. Maybe I don't know whether it was mental cookies that they were algorithm following me by, but Tony Banks's Renaissance piece came up.
Mm-hmm. And I saw,
from his last classical album 5, and and the video was for it as well. So I just checked it out again. It was yesterday on my birthday, and I thought, well, it's my day, I could do what I want. So I just stuck it onto the TV with the speakers on and everything, and I got very teary listening to it because the two things one thing I noticed when reading the booklet again, because I've got the album work, the booklet. That explained that this was also a piece that Tony found on an old tape of his from years ago, that he said, he pulled this out. Hence why there was confusion that when it first came out, they said, this is an old piece that he wrote back in Genesis back in 73 or something like that. There was confusion about that. He denied that completely, saying, no, it was never something to do with Genesis, just something of his own.
But probably a piano piece, I would guess, right? And then he
perhaps, when he wanted to go get into film scoring back in the day. And then the second, when I was listening to this yesterday, I was getting really teary. And of course, all the family were looking at me like, what's wrong? And of course, when that happens, then they come out even more. And I just said, if Tony Banks never released a classical piece of music ever again, an album or any album of any kind, anything, I could not think of a more perfect piece for him to close that chapter of his book about you see, because it's so perfectly,
Well, I think just talking about Tony with that classical stuff, he never really planned to do, oh, I'm going to start doing classical albums. That's my next stage in life. I'm going to do it. It was more just, I think, like Phil wanting to get into big band stuff, he wanted to try it for a bit.
Correct.
And did these little pieces. And then when they said, well, go do another album. And then he did 4 or 5. He had the, what was it, Prelude to a Million Years,
Yes.
which is probably my favorite piece of his.
Right.
And I'm very happy my local classical station plays it a lot, which is very
Yes.
cool. And so he had that doing a live performance
At the
which didn't
Cheltenham,
go so well.
Music Festival, yeah.
Which did not go well, and he wasn't happy with, and so
No,
we did
the
that. And so then he
arrangement,
realized he had another album with some pieces. So I think it was I need to find enough pieces to put a decent sized album together, of a classical music, and so that's probably why he went searching and found this old piece and realized he could do something with it.
Yeah. And just quickly go and just touch on it one more time. The best part about it, of course, which we know Tony lives for as well, that the beginning piece of that, and if listeners or watchers, if you're not familiar with Tony's classical stuff, we cannot recommend it more, because there are such humongous elements there of Genesis in there completely.
I'd love to do an episode on it,
I
but
just-
I don't know how. I don't know how we talk.
I know.
'Cause
No, but just one
We'd
thing.
have to
I'll
go
look-
get classical degrees, I think. 'cause
Yes.
Otherwise,
Just-
other than saying, "God, this is beautiful,
Yeah.
so beautiful," just cry the whole
this
time.
sounds like Firth of Fifth right here, But no, but the opening piece of that is that he's got a choir that comes in, and as they come in from with low dynamic to high, you think this sounds just like a mellotron, which is genius. That's what I love about it.
It's all
so, yeah.
still in there with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to do for any vinyl nerds out there, do a little plug. So 5 is the only one that's been released on vinyl. If you want to get
Really?
it of his
Wow,
stuff.
okay.
However, for Record Store Day in the UK, they are releasing a special box set of all 3, 7, 6, and 5 on
Nice.
vinyl. So
Nice.
keep your eyes out for that. I think it's April sometime.
Okay.
And
Fantastic.
I've got contacts and friends out there who are going to keep an eye for me and get it for me if they can see it.
But it's interesting you mentioned
Just
about
I
that
want
with Phil gets into big band stuff. Peter did get into film music
Mm-hmm.
music quite a while back in the 80s, beginning with Birdie,
Yep.
and then
And soundtrack
with
stuff,
the what's it called, Last Temptation of Christ. So yeah, it's I'm very happy that I'm a wonderful artist to get into that. So now a thought that I wanted to talk about going back. So going back to the song where Peter says he got this melody from his son Isaac, which made me realize as well, is like he's done a fantastic job in keeping his private life, his family life, very, very quiet. The only thing we know about with his children is that we know about they had difficulty with the birth of his first daughter. And we know that Melanie Gabriel is one of his singers in his band. That's all we know. I don't even know who his wife.
Is that child, by the way?
I don't
Did he have
know. I don't believe so. No, I don't think so. No, so as far as I know, he's got 3 children. He's got 3 children,
Okay.
2 daughters, and now a son Isaac, which I didn't even know. It's like, oh, he has a son Isaac. Okay, so it's like praise to you for doing that, because I know it can be. You can make one slip out, but no, the entire world knows about your family and demands to know.
By the way,
more.
I've just noticed nice T-shirt you're wearing.
Thank you. Yes. I had it on today, and I thought I should change it. I was like, no, keep it on. So yeah.
Maybe I'll put a link to it.
It's
notes
so it's
if anyone
interesting
wants to
that so it's interesting that Peter got that melody from his son, because so you mentioned
Mm-hmm.
that it hit me as well that Phil, so not exactly the same but kind of similar, where with the
I know where you're
song
going with this.
"Come with Me," that
Yep.
it was a song that he would hum to his children as they were
a
kids and
lullaby,
babies.
basically.
A lullaby, yeah.
Probably for Nick, I'm guessing, right, to put him to sleep.
I believe Nick and I want to say Matthew. So
Yep, you're right. Yep.
Somehow we know more about his family than Peter's family. So, but I guess
Well,
the
his
dramas he's been and
divorces were
everything.
always in the news because
that
it was
certainly
a big
hasn't
deal, so
helped.
that's why.
That
Yeah.
certainly hasn't helped. But yeah, but again,
So yeah, and then sorry, did you
I was
finish
just gonna say
before?
another former Genesis member who's brought his kid out and to be literally a part of his band. So with Nicholas Collins. So yeah. All right.
And then just wanted to, since we mentioned the artwork briefly,
Yes.
so it is obviously an image of birth, and it's by Judy Chicago, who's a legendary feminist artist. And I guess it said from about 1980 to 85, she commissioned a ton of other artists, I think it was, to work with her and just come up with stuff for birth. And this was from this particular piece is from 1982, and it's called Birth Tear
Yeah.
Stroke Tear, and it's embroidered, so it's like a fancy design on a pillow or something, you know? If you look up
Oh,
close, it's like a
right.
material done with, I don't know if it was
Right.
hand sewn or what it was, but it's pretty incredible.
Remarkable.
And I feel like the more you look at it, the more you see stuff going on, the more lively it becomes, more life it has in it.
Of
The more
course.
it makes you think about it and everything. Um, he had a really nice quote from her that she said to Chicago, uh, truth can be found in the ignored, the forgotten, and the left out, which I really liked.
Yeah.
And then as he started doing, like in the last video where he turned political, he did again here, as he should, because things continue to get not great in this world and go
Mm.
worse. Um, Saying, it seems our society is backing away from open-minded thinking. I think the arts have been preserved for exploring ideas and for debate. So again, just saying
Yep.
creativity is important. You need to keep
Yes.
making art, keep making things.
Yes.
They want you to just do what they say and be quiet. And it's more important to make stuff and bring joy into the world.
Beautiful. Yeah, I did leave a comment on his on that video and just saying thank you for still carrying on in this world, Peter, and just for being there to open up people's minds, which is exactly what you're doing. Oh, and I did take a screenshot actually of, I believe it was one of his songs. Oh, "Live and Let Live," because I've been playing that so much
Mm-hmm.
recently that I played it, and someone had left a quote saying, "I've not really been into Peter Gabriel that much. Not really checked out much of his material, but I listened to this song, I listened to the lyrics, and I am bawling my eyes out because we need to be more like this with the world." And so I
That
just,
was I think it was my second favorite. I think Playing in
yeah,
Time just
and
beat it out, but I love that song.
I
Yeah.
remember
And I
saying,
consider it In Your Eyes Part Two, just as this
yeah.
is, Don't Give Up Part Two.
But I remember thinking when I read that, I was like, yes,
Hmm.
this is exactly, I believe, what the whole point Peter's doing. Hence why he's making this stuff completely free
Yes.
to release to the world. My mum was
Hmm.
being like, oh, but don't you have to pay for this stuff? It's like, no, he's just doing it for free because he just wants to get this message
Yeah.
across.
He'll release an album at the end of the year, and you can buy it if you want, but you don't have to. You can
No.
just hear the whole album on YouTube or wherever you want, Spotify, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yep. So there we go. There we have it. All right.
Uh, but yeah, that's all I've got for this song because it was 2
Two
minutes and
minutes
52
50.
seconds. Oh, you've frozen.
Oh. So yeah. Well, so of course now we are intrigued to see what the no, this was the dark side version of this piece.
No, this was Light Side, wasn't it?
Was it the bright side?
I'm pretty sure it's he's doing Bright Side. I'm pretty
Oh
sure.
yeah, this was bright
Each
side. This
time.
was bright side
Yeah,
because
it's all been Bright Side.
no because no because we had dark side of Been Undone first, then was bright side, and then it was flipped. Then it was flipped for Put
Yes,
the Bucket Down.
just that first song was flipped,
the first sound.
and that's just how he did with IO too. It was always Bright Side and then Dark Side.
Interesting. Okay.
Almost, what if there was a miscommunication with that first one or something?
Maybe.
Don't know.
Okay, so this is bright side.
Yeah.
So that's right.
So what's dark?
I,
Again, I'm trying to think. I was like, I don't know how much you can change with this. You can't make it better, that's for sure.
no, and
I did like. What was the other thing I forgot to mention? If you listen right at the beginning, just before the choir comes in, there's a
right.
boom. There's like a little boom, which reminded me of Been Undone.
Right. Well,
Split second.
I mean, it's intriguing. Are they going to be maybe on the bright side version instead of going home? They're going to go ha or something to change the.
Maybe
Wouldn't that be
he'll
a
just
bit-
make it twice as long. Just repeat it, and you're like, okay, that's better.
That's. I mean, I'm intrigued to see what the strings are going to sound like. If there's going to be some, I don't.
I mean, it's
I
so
hope not
full
some
and
percussive
it's
elements
so
on
full
top.
and complete already. I don't really know
Correct.
what else you could do.
I know. Yeah.
Add a drum beat in there? No, you
No,
can't.
no, definitely not. Right, well, let's just see. Let's just see what's gonna happen. Yeah. I don't know. We're just gonna keep thinking about
I
it
mean,
now.
you really could have with this. You don't. He's not going to do that. But you really could have. Peter didn't even need to sing in this. You could have just had that choir going the whole way through and everything.
I would
And the
be
song would
happy.
still be
Well,
just
that's
as
fine.
beautiful.
Just use Splitter AI to take the vocals away. There you go. I mean, to be honest, I will have had that happen anyway throughout this episode. I will have an instrumental version of this underneath
Yeah,
as
true.
I've been doing. Okay, well, before we leave then, so what's the next track going to be then? Is it going to be? Is it going to be the title track? Oh, I. That's the thing.
It's gonna be oi.
Yeah. Oi, you.
No, he's gonna start it just like he did with Big Time.
Hi there.
Instead of going hi there, he's gonna go
Oi.
Oi.
and then kick into the song. And it's gonna be an upbeat song. It's gonna be a groove.
Oh, I do have to
Dance
say,
to.
I was really hoping, because one of the other things we were predicting with this current piece, I was like, come on, just bring in a female vocal somewhere.
So like almost like a solo, like her. The woman
Yeah,
singing
well, I mean,
separate?
because I know we don't. I'm sure he doesn't want to risk repeating like "Don't Give Up." But as we were saying, oh, this song is going to be called "Keep On Going" with Melanie singing or whoever, something like that. So, and I was thinking, oh, let it just be a female vocal in there somewhere, just somewhere. Then our predictions will make us look that good as Genesis nerds. Yeah, but who knows? Who knows? Still plenty more
Well,
months
okay,
to
I'm
come.
gonna call it. I'm gonna say it is gonna be called oi.
That they saw.
Yep, and it's gonna be fun and upbeat, fun and upbeat.
Fun and
You're gonna
upbeat.
want to dance and strut to, yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of Road to Joy style, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, we could start doing that by being like, right, it's going to be like this kind of rhythm or that kind of rhythm. Road to Joy is like, do.
And it's about uniting, working together, coming together,
Yep.
and not stopping. Well, when they want you to, just keep on going.
Oi, you there? Yeah. Okay. Okay. And I hear.
What are you guessing?
I'm hearing a choir again. Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe.
Coming with this.
Lovely strings. What are you guessing then?
I am guessing something definitely a bit more upbeat, but just not as much as that. That's what I feel. I feel like it's gonna be sort of mid tempo ish, and then the song after that is gonna be upbeat. I find that's my prediction.
You want it on track 5?
Yes. Yes. Track 4 is gonna be midway. It's gonna be some beats, some more instrumentation back in there again. Manu's gonna be back again. Because it's the second track now.
You're going to hear Manu. Is that your prediction? You're going to hear Manu.
We're going to hear Manu
clearly
finally
this one?
again. Some obvious Manu in there again. Because so far with Bucket and this one, it's kind of like, well, where's Manu? What's he doing?
Subdued.
Yes.
There's no panopticon heavy
No,
drum
because
beat. Yeah.
because one thing that we still heard on this track though, Tony was still there. We still heard the classic Tony with
Like Tony Banks was there? What?
yeah, Tony was there. Yes. He just popped
Sorry.
in.
When you say Tony, there's only one Tony to be.
Well, there was strings in there, who knows? But no. When I heard some Tony Levin in there, I just thought, fantastic. So, because there was nothing else. And David, there was no guitar there, no drums, definitely no keyboards or any sort in there. So,
Though he did, well, again, in the video, he was playing, there was footage of them in the studio. And again, I don't know if it was for a different song or whatever. But you did have
David Rose there,
Tony,
yeah.
David on an acoustic.
Yeah, he was doing something there, but I that was definitely for something else because the way they were moving, even with maybe slight slow motion effect, it was like that is not that.
That was where Peter said, "I know you're not in this, David. So, but you just pick up something and pretend to play it, and we'll use it as footage."
And you see David going like, "Yep, yeah, okay, yeah, agreeing."
I'm not really playing, but I'm just strumming along.
I'm just mimicking, just following what you're
My
doing with the
mic's not on.
shoulders. Yeah. So yes, that's my I say track.
Your
So
prediction.
you reckon it's going to be another Road to Joy kind of vibe?
Oi!
Yeah, I feel it's going to be a bit more mid tempo ish.
When is it?
Maybe a bit
When
like
is the next
a bit like Home. I suppose This Is Home. I think that kind of version, but with a bit more
This Is Home.
grit underneath it, that kind of vibe. And then the track 5 is going to be more, OI.
So the full moon is 1st of April. April Fool's Day.
Oh, Peter could be really cheeky there, couldn't he? Yes. Yeah.
And then when's the? Oh, let me just check on when we get Dark Side.
I guess around the 20th or something.
17th. No, sorry, that's April. 18th.
Oh, right after St. Paddy's Day. Okay, St. Patrick's Day. Good.
So a lot of people will be listening because they'll be recovering.
Yeah, and they'll be hearing Peter saying.
I mean, actually, honestly, it'll be a good light song to listen to after St.
After
Patrick's
that.
Day when
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
dealing with a massive hangover.
You'll be like, you're
just
in
put
bed.
that on repeat.
And you hear him saying, "Keep on going." You're like, "Okay, fine." I guess I gotta get up
Keep
for work.
going. But here's some really light, nice music to just relax you.
Yeah, because St. Patrick's Day is a Tuesday, so yeah, Wednesday's the 18th. So like, oh, I guess I gotta go to work. Yep, keep on going. It's fine.
No, I don't think they will.
Good.
But
All right
otherwise,
then.
thank you for joining us for our EP episode.
Yes,
EP3.
yes. Thank you very much.
Lies
So far, I'm really liking the flow of this potential album we've got here. And well, let's see what
Oh, I
lies
was gonna
ahead.
say, what's your? Do you have is this become your favorite now on the album?
Oh,
so far?
right. Good question. Yeah, I think so. I think
Yep,
so.
I'm with you there.
It's one of the ones that instantly hits you. I think it's a. I'm not. I don't want to say this is easy listening, but it's easier to digest and listen to, right? Because there's less going on, slower. You can catch up to it a lot better. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, me too. It's my favorite on there, and then Being Undone, and then Put the Bucket Down. So
Same.
my order.
Same. Dark Side.
see how that
Dark
goes
Side.
for the next
yes.
time.
Dark Side. Yeah.
Well,
that's
join us next time. I'm not sure what it'll be, but next month
some point
at
next
least
month.
for-
Early next month. Yes. And
for EP PG 4.
plus our review on the
Dark
Dark
Side.
Side version of
Of-
Keep On Going. No, sorry, What Lies Ahead? What Lies Ahead? Sorry, Peter. Dark Side
Okay.
version.
Peter, you owe me some money.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll see you all next
Dark
time.
Side.
Then. See you next month.
Do you think it's going to be better? Another prediction. Is it going to be better the dark side than the light side?
It's tough with this one because of this piece being such a classical sounding piece. I'm a bit concerned. I'm a bit concerned actually because
Because you could easily ruin it.
I don't want Peter's voice to now sort of blend more in with the instrumentation. I like his voice sort of being up there front and present. I like that. So I feel like I'm still gonna very much enjoy the Dark Side, but I'm gonna probably enjoy this one. I would prefer this one more, the Bright Side.
The bright side. So you're going to be a bright side fan the next
I
one. You're going
think
over
this
to
is
join the
this is what I also predict. Yes.
Okay,
Oh,
I'll go dark side then.
do we want to go as far as predicting the next song title, or are we done? We spent for the day.
I did already. I said it's Oi.
Oh yeah, that's right. You said yeah. Oi.
And then we're also Dad is hard at work. Me is hard at work on the first Lamb episode still. It's
Yes.
broken into 3 parts, like I said, but
Yes.
we still did 2 hours of talking about the
We
first
did.
disc of the Lamb.
Yeah.
So he's hard at work on it still.
I am hard at
That
work.
might happen.
Well, there was a lot of chatting that happened even before we got into the actual album, the songs of the album. So we were talking about obviously the history of the album and everything. So there's a lot of that going on, which I'm reaching the end of that section, and now the actual songs is the next step to take.
So yeah, we won't say definitely in March, but there's a chance that we might get that sliding into your feeds in March. So
This is
make sure whatever podcast catcher you use, subscribe on there, or just watch us on YouTube. It's probably better because you get all the video. And just subscribe on there, and then as soon as there's a new episode coming out, we'll let you know. Yeah.
Well, so far the very good thing we say in the episode is like, well, we gotta get working on this because we've got another Peter Gabriel song coming out. So that's staying in because
What lies ahead is another Peter Gabriel song, whether we want it or
we
not.
can certainly predict that. Yes, of course. All right then. Until next time, catch you next month. All. Thank you for tuning in as always. We thank you and thank you for your support. And yes, leave any comments if you wish of what you predict what the next song would be, what your favorite song is so far.
yes.
What you
Your
think so
guesses
far
are.
of this album compared to I.O. Kenny's confused now. And either way, take care. Stay,
And keep on going. Let me know what you thought about keep on going.
Keep on going.
That's somewhere, yeah.
Stay positive. Stay strong, everyone. Be there for each other. Look after each other. It's just one home we all live on here, so let's all try and get on. Yeah. So, all right. Until next time. This is good night. Yes, definitely good night from me.
And it's it's still morning here, so it's good morning still from Virgil.
Okay,
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Cheerio.
Me and Virgil chop some wood, but we stop by swinging just to listen to a crying.
Thank you for listening to Me and Virgil, a Genesis Brothers podcast. Be sure to subscribe so you can get new episodes as soon as they're released. Feel free to rate and review wherever you get your podcasts, and be sure to mention us to your Genesis friends so you can agree or disagree with what we talked about on the show. Me and Virgil, a Genesis Brothers podcast, is edited by Dan Telander and produced and hosted by Dan Telander, aka me, and Alex C. Telander, aka Virgil. If you'd like to reach us to let us know what you thought about this episode, or if you wanted to correct something we were very wrong about, you can reach us at meandvirgilpod@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Looking for someone.
You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok under the handle meandvirgilpod for announcements and info about the show, as well as anything else we think you'd be interested in related to all things Genesis. For now, thanks again for listening. We really appreciate it, and see you on the next episode of Me and Virgil, a Genesis Brothers podcast.
Well, me and Virgil, we beat the desert. We're riding fast and riding hard. We hit the city, the past behind us. So we raced some hell, we had some fun. And to this day, I can hear myself to me, you're a big boy now.
Yeah, there's a chance. We've got a small window here. It might be a shorter episode because it's such a bloody short song that we can get this out quick. And now try cut down referencing a ton of Genesis stuff that you have to find footage for.
Yeah.
We're gonna count to 4 though? No.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
Why do you wait so long?
Ish, because of the latency.
That was 1.5.
It was
In between.
the latency.
Brah.
Wheat bra.